Hey guys, it's Daryl Rundis. Just wanted to touch base with you today about a phrase, a term that I call lifestyle evangelism. Now, a lot of times people think lifestyle evangelism is, oh, I'm going to live a good life and I'm going to have hope and peace and joy and be nice to everybody. And man, they're going to see how great I am and they're going to ask, hey, why are you so different? Why are you so nice? Why are you so loving? Why are you so forgiving? And that's the original term, lifestyle evangelism. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. It's really not biblical, but unfortunately, that's kind of where the modern American church is these days. They're not equipped and ready to go out into where the people are and meet the people where they are and minister to them, to pray for them, to share the gospel with them, just straight up have that good godly conversation with them. And of course, I've done that many, 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 many times, taught thousands of others how to do the same. And to me, lifestyle evangelism is simply this. And I would hope and pray that God would put it in your heart and in your mind to kind of have this same mindset. I mean, the whole reason we exist as a church, as a body of Christ, is to be a witness to Him. It's not so we can have a better life. It's not so we can be fat and happy and do whatever we want to do. It's so that we can be a witness for Him. And I would just say, I want you to be a nobody, dead to yourself, not living for yourself, but living for Christ. So be a nobody, telling everybody, and I mean everybody, about somebody, Jesus, who can save anybody, even the most wicked, wretched sinner like me. So, lifestyle evangelism, I think I'd like to take that term back, and I'd like to turn it into what it really should mean. And that is when you go to the movies, you don't go to see a movie, you go to be a witness for Jesus. And while you're there, you might watch the movie. When you go to the grocery store, you don't go to buy groceries. You go to be a witness for the Lord, and while you're there, you pick up a few things. When you go to work, you don't go there to do the job and earn a paycheck. You go there to be a light in a cold, dark, and dying place, to be a witness in the marketplace for Jesus. And then while you're there, you do the work that you're getting paid to do, and you do it honorably and you do it well, because what you do unto the Lord. So wherever you go and whatever you do, have the mindset that you are there to be a witness for Jesus, to be a nobody telling everybody about somebody who can save anybody. Don't get your mind set on things of this world where the devil is, but we're up in heaven where Christ is. And think about, do what Jesus did. It's not enough to say, what would Jesus do? Because that opens yourself up to speculation and opinion and conjecture and so much more. False doctrine can, quickly creep in when we ask, what would Jesus do? Because then, once again, we get to make up our own minds. But if you say, what did Jesus do? Right? WDJD. Then think about, what did Jesus do? Did he do this? Did he do that? I mean, he was a bold witness. He stood up and spoke out against evil and wickedness and sin. The most famous speech given of all time. I mean, here we are in the middle of the Republican and Democrat national conventions, and there are all these people giving all these speeches and saying all these things and making all kinds of promises they can't keep. But ultimately, they make speeches. And Jesus made the greatest speech of all, called the Sermon on the Mount. And in that sermon, man, he spoke hard against sin, right? He says, if your eye caused you to sin, pluck it out. It would be better to enter the kingdom of heaven blind than to have your whole soul cast into hell, right? He said, things like, hey, you've heard it said of old, it's wrong to commit adultery. But I say to you, if you even look at a woman and lust after her, you've already committed adultery with her in your heart. You got masses of people around, and he's preaching against sin. He's out in the open air around the masses. Now, of course, that probably wasn't a very popular message, but it was the message that was of God, because he was God in the flesh. And so if that was good enough for God, then, it's good enough for me. And so in the same way, I want you to also just think about something for a second that unfortunately a lot of people have just gotten way, way, way off base. And that is simply put, what is love? And I mean, if we really love people, we'll go to them. If we love people, we'll tell them the truth. We're not going to be preoccupied with what men think. We're going to be thinking about, what does God think, and what's going to happen to those people when they reject Jesus, either through their thoughts, their words, their actions, on the day they die and they stand before God. So please think about it like lifestyle evangelism. My lifestyle is to be a witness. My lifestyle is to, wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm going to be a nobody telling everybody about somebody who can save anybody. Hey, this is Daryl Rundis telling you I thank God for you